And hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hometown Football League Season 2 as we kick off week number 3 right here on the Big Polly's World of Sports Sims channel. Spit it out, Polly. And here I am. If you like what you've been seeing here on this channel, give it the old thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe to this channel. I forget to say that way too frequently. So we're going to kick off week number 3 on this January 17, 2022. It's going to be Baltimore, the Ravens playing the Buffalo Bills. Now, Baltimore, if you're new to the Hometown Football League, the HTFL, the combination of the Colts before they moved to Indianapolis and the Buffalo Bills are both the Buffalo Bills of the AAFC of the 1940s and the Bills we have all grown to know and love from 1960 onward. Currently, they are in the final 8 in the National Football League playoffs. They'll be playing, I think it is the Chiefs next week at Arrowhead Stadium, or whatever they now call Arrowhead Stadium. And you're going to hear some animal mews, and that is my new cat, Ella. Harry has gone to history. I was not able to keep Harry when I was in the hospital. So Ella is taking the place of Harry, I guess you could say. And you'll be hearing her from time to time. She's got the cutest little meow you will ever hear. So let's go on and play our first game this week. Tomorrow we're going to go into this second column of games and play Minnesota and Cincinnati. Wednesday it'll be Miami and Atlanta. Los Angeles, Seattle on Thursday, and New York and Philadelphia will be the Monday night game on a Friday. Buffalo is a 10-point favorite as we hit the play button. I play as the home team, which will be Buffalo. We use the historical collection from 2020 that Action PC Football provides, because when I started that was the latest set. I know Action PC Football just came out with the 2021 historical collection, but I haven't gotten that yet because I don't need it yet. Interesting weather conditions. If you'll note the recent history of the Buffalo Bills, it's 62 degrees. We play this game in September because it's week 3, but the winds are 40 miles an hour and beyond. Kind of reminiscent of that Bills-Patriots game a few weeks ago, the first meeting of 3 in 2021 and 2022, where the Bills and Patriots won the game, but they only threw 3 times. So it's going to be very interesting weather conditions and very probably reminiscent of that Buffalo New England game on Monday Night Football. Of course, the Bills just blew away the Patriots Saturday night in the first round of this year's NFL playoffs. Baltimore and Buffalo used to play in the AFC East together and would play each other twice. Joe Flacco is going to be your starter for Baltimore, Jim Kelly for Buffalo. Johnny Unitas was picked up by San Diego because of San Diego could draft their 100 players. Any player who played for San Diego before Baltimore could take any of theirs. Baltimore still has a stout defense. Buffalo, of course, with those 4 Super Bowl appearances, unfortunately not winning any of them, will be a tough challenge. So we are at Rich Stadium, or as it's now called, Ralph Wilson Stadium, 62 degrees. The coin toss is going to go Baltimore's way, so Buffalo will receive. Buffalo will be with the wind in quarters number 1 and 4, and that might prove to be crucial as we progress through this game. McGee, Merton, and Jackson back deep for the Bills, and let's get this party started. And it's Jackson taking it all the way up at the 20, and his return 9 yards to the 29. So already, wind becoming a factor here in Buffalo. So your starters for Buffalo, O.J. Simpson and Kablitsky are your running backs. Molds and Terrell Owens are your wide receivers. Get your popcorn. Baldwin at tight end. Kelly is at quarterback. Wolford, Delamalier, Hull, Shaw, and Ballard are your offensive linemen from tackle to tackle, and we'll give you the Baltimore lineup in just a moment. We're going to go with the juice off tackle, trap right, I beg your pardon, not off tackle right. And OJ with a 2-yard gain before being tackled by Peter Boulware. And speaking of the Baltimore defense, Marchetti, Nagata, Donovan, and Lipscomb are your front four. Hendricks, Lewis, Boulware, a 10-10 and a 9 are your linebacker core. Boyd, McAllister, Reed, and Volk are your defensive backs. You got 5 10s and a 10 plus in Reed, Ed Reed out of the University of Miami, the U. And Baltimore with a good defense of their own. It'll be 2nd and 8 as Buffalo goes 3 wide, and they're going to look to Eric Moulds on a medium out. The throw is caught. Let's check the marker.
Holding. Offense. Number 67. 10-yard penalty.
And bring that back. Stevie Johnson wears 91, but I do believe that is an error. They had this error in the last historical set as well. I'm going to have to go in there one of these days and correct it like I did in Season 1. Simpson on a screen on 2nd and long, and he'll get 6 yards back, and that's going to set up a 3rd and 12. They'll stay with the 3 wide set, and they're going to look to Terrell on a medium cross. It's caught by Owens. Owens has a first down, a pickup of 14 in the game against Kansas City. But hang on, we got a
further review,
replay.
The ball touched the ground before being secured. Incomplete. No timeout will be charged.
I was going to say that Owens had, in a game against Kansas City last week, a 5-catch game for 100 yards. But that play was nullified, 4th and 12, and now Mormon will come on to punt. And he should average 54 yards here. That's a booming punt. Look at that. 73 yards. And I think he kicked that to Canada. Well, anyway, no score. Now the Ravens with the ball. The offense for them is as follows. Lewis and McCauley are your running backs. Berry and Alexander are your wideouts. Heap is the tight end. Joe Flacco out of the University of Delaware is your quarterback. Odkin, Yanda, Curry, Barwigen, and Vogel are your offensive line starters. In the case of the running backs and the wide receivers and the tight ends, that is their receiver rating, 3, 7, 8, 7, 7, respectively, for Lewis, McCauley, Berry, Alexander, and Heap. And the ratings for the linemen are the blocking ratings. Odgen, a 10 plus at left tackle. So we'll get Baltimore started with 12:54 left, opening quarter, no score. It's Flacco looking to throw, and it is caught. And this is going to be a big run for 82, a touchdown. Raymond Berry. Oh, doctor, he goes 80 yards. One play, a quick strike for Baltimore, and it is 6-0. Extra point attempt is good by Matt Stover. So one play, 80 yards, and 7 points on the board for the Ravens. And the Bills have to go back to square one. McGee, Merton, and Jackson back deep. For the Bills, McGee, a better
Illegal
kick
block.
that time.
Receiving team.
For Stover, but the return's going to be negated by a blocking penalty, and that's going to set up the Bills way back at their own 5. We'll go Kablitsky on a trap right. Just get a little breathing room here if we can find a hole. We cannot. Boulware was hurt on the last play. I don't think I even got to Buffalo's defense. We will try to remember to do so the next time Baltimore has the ball. 3 wide. I take that back. It is going to be Simpson. Again, high risk the pass here. He's going to go pitch right on 2nd and 10. So he's got to get to the outside. He barely
Personal
gets
foul.
out on the end
Defense.
zone.
Number 52.
Oh, and look at this. We got a big brouhaha.
First down.
Ray Lewis was picking a fight with some of the Baltimore linemen, and Lewis has been disqualified from further play in this game, future play, I guess you could also say, which is the word I was trying to think of, and that's why I was stuttering there for a minute. A first and 10 for Buffalo. Now they move it up to the 21. So this could be a big difference. Ray Lewis out of the game. He will be replaced by somebody. We do not know whom yet. We'll go O.J. Trap right. Mosley. It'll be Mosley. A gain of 10 for OJ. Let's look at Mosley real fast. C.J. Mosley out of the University of Alabama, who, of course, just came up just short against Georgia in the national championship game of a week ago. Second and inches, and this might be a good opportunity for Kelly to go deep. He's going to look for Terrell. Throwaway down here. No, a sack. A sack by Gino Marchetti on Machine Gun Kelly. And that's going to make a second and inches, a third and 7. We'll look to Stevie Johnson on the medium slant. Kelly back to go, and it's Johnson. A first down. Keene on the tackle for Baltimore. It's a gain of 15 and a first down for the Bills. We'll go back to Simpson. Sweep right on first and 10 from the 39. And we had
offsides, defense.
Offsides against
number
the defense.
70, 5-yard penalty.
Art Donovan's looking around like, who's the penalty on? Who's the penalty on? And the officials say, it's you, fatso. First and 5 at the 44. That was the title. The title of Art Donovan's book was Fatso. And he was a very effective speaker. Appeared several times on Johnny Carson's Tonight Show, NBC. And also did a SummerSlam for WWE. And as I said in season 1, he was infatuated with how much did the wrestlers weigh. I guess that's something. A gain of 3 for OJ. And OJ now up to 3 carries and 15 yards. Second and 2. And they're going to try play action again. Medium fly to Eric Moulds. Ball at the 47. That's incomplete. A little too high for Moulds to come down with. So we'll try to gut it out for the first down. And we're going to go OJ on a dive. 83% chance he gets the first down. And did I jinx him? No, I did not. It was very close, but OJ gets the first down. And it's now first and 10 at the 49. So the Bills have already gone a long way. Considering where they started. Pitch right to Kablitsky, first and 10. Kablitsky wearing number 72. Of course, the NFL changing their numbering conventions a bit this year, but not that radically. Kablitsky gains 1 yard, and it's going to be second and a 9er. Not the 49ers. Hitch to Moulds on second and 9. Here's the throw. It's caught. And Moulds has a gain of 14. We'll go to Baldwin on a medium cross. Al Baldwin, first and 10. But that's batted at the line, incomplete. So I'm recording this on the 17th of January, 2022, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, or so it is observed here in the United States. It's also a Monday, and tonight is going to be the first ever Monday night playoff game. Well, I have seen some posts on Facebook as Kablitsky's going to get it pitch right on second and 10. And he is stopped behind the line, a big loss, 4 yards. Third and 14 at the 40. We'll get back to the story in a moment, but we're going to go to Terrell on a medium fly. Third and 4. And Kelly throws. Picked! And it looks like Ted Hendricks has it, and he gains 26 yards. Down to the Bills' 41. Oh my. To quote the late, great Dick Enberg. And the Ravens have it now, first and 10 at the 41. See, I nearly called them the Colts. And Flacco in the shotgun formation, flanked by 2 running backs. And that's Raymond Berry again. Berry already at 92 yards on 2 catches. He's having a big game already. 5:49 left in the first quarter. There have been occasions, as Flacco gives to Jamal Lewis for a gain of 4. There have been occasions in NFL history that Christmas falls on a Sunday, and the NFL chose not to play on Christmas Sunday, mainly because of the 1971 playoff game on Christmas Day between, or was it 72, between the Chiefs and the Dolphins, and the game went double overtime, and to date, it is still the longest game in NFL history. 2nd and 6 at the 25. And that's a pass to McCulley, and McCulley got into the flat, gained 15 yards down to the 10. First and goal at the 10. So what they did on those occasions is they would play games the following day, on Monday the 26th. First and goal at the 10. We'll keep the story going. Gain of 4, tally on the tackle for Buffalo. And there were also occasions where a game, if not 2 games, were played on the Monday after Christmas. 1977, the CBS had both NFC divisional playoffs on the same day. Second and goal at the 6. We'll get back to the story in a moment. The league decided that year, 1977, to have the AFC games on Christmas Eve and the NFC games on the day after Christmas, so each team would have equal time to rest before playing the NFC championship game, which were both played on New Year's Day. And the bowls of 78 were moved to January 2nd, the major bowls. Third and goal at the 4. Now, CBS on December 26, 1977, had a unique problem. And we'll get to that right after the field goal, which is good by Stover, and it is 10-0, and Baltimore has already got a 2-score lead with 2:15 to go in the opening frame. It's McGee, Merton, and Jackson again back deep for Buffalo. And we'll finish the story about Monday playoff games and whether or not you could call this Cardinals and Rams game tonight a first ever Monday night playoff game. And there have been arguments back and forth on the sports forums on Facebook whether or not you could legitimately call this a Monday night playoff game, the first ever. So CBS, as Simpson's going to get it on the trap right with 2:01 to go, had a unique problem the day after Christmas of 1977 because the games were in Dallas and Los Angeles. So CBS decided to start the first game, which was Dallas and Chicago, at 2 o'clock. We'll go Kablitsky on a screen on 2nd and 10. And it's complete. Let's see how far Kablitsky goes. It's 7 yards before Ted Hendricks makes the tackle for the Ravens, and it's going to be 3rd and 3. So Dallas and Los Angeles got those games. So they couldn't start at 1 o'clock. CBS decided to start at 2 that day, and that meant the Los Angeles-Minnesota game, which was played in very rainy conditions. In fact, if there's footage of YouTube of the Rams and the Vikings, and you couldn't tell the difference between them because the uniforms were so muddy. And the Coliseum, which wasn't used to rain, the Los Angeles Coliseum had such poor drainage. Medium slant to Owens on 3rd and 3. And that game, that Mud Bowl game between Minnesota and the Rams, which the Vikings won 14-7, started at 5:30. So you could technically call that a Monday night game because at that time of year it was nighttime when the kickoff occurred at 5:30. 4th and 3, and the Bills cannot get anything going. We'll go to the sidelines with the punt by Mormon. And it's Jermaine Lewis taking it 3 yards out to the 17 from the 14, a punt of 43 yards. So things are going to go from bad to worse for the Bills as the Ravens will have that 40-mile-an-hour wind to their advantage in the next couple of quarters. 10-0 the Ravens lead. Flacco throwing. It's complete to Todd Heap. A gain of 7, and that'll do it for the opening stanza. 10-0 Baltimore leading Buffalo. Baltimore 124 yards rushing, total offense. 114 of that came through the air. Flacco went 4 for 5. The big play was the 80-yard bomb from Flacco to Raymond Berry. And 3 carries and 10 yards for Baltimore. Jamal Lewis is leading with 6 yards. Buffalo, 4 for 9, 42 yards. That makes up the bulk of their 49 yards total offense. And they have run the ball 8 for 14. Simpson has 5 for 17. And Kablitsky, remember he just had that 4-yard loss, has 3 carries for a negative 3 yards. 2nd and 3 as we begin play here in quarter number 2. Here's the throw. Incomplete. Raymond Berry goes looking for a penalty call, but not to be. And it's going to be 3rd down, 3 yards to go at the same spot, the 24-yard line. Flacco, incomplete, looking for White. And that makes it 4th. It was intended for Berry. It was White who deflected it. And again, I forgot to get to Buffalo's defense. We're going to do that right after the change of possession. I'll look it up in the roster. That's a booming punt, as one might expect. 59 yards for Koch. Bird returns it 10 from the 17 to the 27. Let's give you Buffalo's defense and not wait, since I have not gotten to it yet. Smith, Schobel, Washington, and Sestak, your front 4. Bennett, Matsos, and Talley are your linebackers. Bird, White, Jones, and Symes are your defensive backs. No 10s in this lineup. Actually, no, I take that back. I think Bruce Smith is a 10. He is. So let's get back to the game in Baltimore with the 10-0 lead. Buffalo now has it 1st and 10. They're going to keep trying to run it with O.J. Simpson. And that is no gain. Peter Boulware on the tackle for the Ravens. We'll go Baldwin. No, we're going to change that to a run. We're going to go O.J. again. Trap right. Got to depend on our running game. We don't want to be throwing it into the wind too much. 3rd and 5. We're going to look for the short pass, and we're going to go Molds on 3rd and 5. It's a screen, but the wind played havoc with that screen, and Molds could not get to it. Setting up a 4th and 5. The ball at the 32. And Mormon will punt into a stiff wind. And let's see how far that went. Only 34 yards. Lewis tackled by Jermaine Lewis, after a 3-yard return. 12:55 left in the half. And our score is still 10-0. A 1st and 10 at the 37. It's Flacco. Pitching it to Lewis. Jamal Lewis gains 3 yards. He's now up to 9 on the day. 2nd and 7 at the 40-yard line. Saw Uncle Ron Juckett put up a game between the Niners and Rams in his, I think he did 84. Is he doing 84 or 85? I don't remember offhand. 2nd and 7 at the 40. I think it's 84 because I told him you should do a Bucks game because James Wilder had a great year for the Bucks, even if they weren't competitive. A gain of 17 as Heap caught a pass from Flacco. Jones on the tackle for Buffalo. And it's 1st and 10 at the 43. Both these teams playing in the Eastern Division of the HTFL. 4 divisions of 8. What we will try to do, I'm not going to guarantee this is going to happen, is we're going to give the division winners a double bye, and the top 4 wild cards will get a single bye, and then teams 9 to 16. We're going to have 4 division winners and 12 wild cards make the playoffs. But the optimal plan is to do that. I don't know if Action PC Football allows you to do that anymore, but we'll see. And that's still a long ways away. We got 16 more weeks to play, absent this game. 2nd and 3 at the 36. Yes, I had it right. Trust myself, Paulie. Flacco was looking for a receiver. He just threw it away. And now it's 3rd and 3. It's the 36. As I mimic Vin Scully's famous call of the catch. That's a first down. Lewis tackled by White after a gain of 4. So move the chains, and Baltimore continuing to dominate against the Bills. They have isolated Bruce Smith. Smith has not been a factor, and they have been able to go to work. It's Lewis. A fumble, I believe. Yes, it was. Curry, the center, with the recovery, so Baltimore's going to keep possession. Bill Curry, who would later coach for the University of Alabama and for a while was an analyst for college football games on ESPN. Believe it or not, he was a center. Shows you how far we have come. 2nd and 10 at the 32. Bill Curry never really struck me as a big guy. And when you see him playing center, you're like, how could that have been? 2nd and 10 at the 32. Maybe he was a big guy when he was playing. I don't know. And that was Flacco to McCauley, but that was not easy for Ed McCauley. Bennett drilled him, went right through his hands. 3rd and 10 at the 32. 9:20 left in the half. Flacco incomplete. And with the wind at their backs, Stover is going to come on, and this will be 49 yards. Distance should not be a problem with the wind, and sure enough, it was not. And Stover puts it through from 49, and it is 13-0 Rams over the Bills. 9:09 left in the half. So you know them well by now, McGee, Merton, and Jackson back deep. And this kick, that kick headed to Syracuse. Touchback, and the Bills will get it back with 9:09 to go. And we're going to stick with the juice. Sweep to the right side. And OJ loses 2 yards. Nagata on the tackle. And that's going to set up 2nd and 12. Maybe they're being just a little too dependent on the running game. We're going to look to Owens on a hitch. They're playing deep and loose, so we're going to go screen to OJ on 2nd and 13. It's caught, and OJ Simpson with a gain of 11 yards. Of course, OJ was better known for the tragic events of 1994 in his famous trial where he stood trial for murder of his wife Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. 3rd and 2, which he was acquitted of on criminal charges, but civilly he was held liable. 3rd and 2, and of course he would later go to prison on an unrelated charge. He is, within the last couple of years, been released. He's a free man. 3rd and 2 at the 28. He serves several years in the Nevada Correctional Facility. I think it was in Lovelock, Nevada. Gain of 9. And it's now 1st and 10 at the 37. So if you're not familiar with the OJ story, there it is. If you're about my age, I'm 50. We know the story very well. Pitch right Kablitsky on 1st and 10. I'm sure there are many who have the opinion that OJ went into the Hall of Fame in the mid-1980s and he should have had his Hall of Fame induction revoked, or he should have been uninducted. 2nd and 10. But nobody envisioned. We'll go Owens on a fly. And that's caught at the 49-yard line. McAllister tackling Owens after a 12-yard gain. Terrell Owens recently stated that when Antonio Brown quit the Buccaneers in that game against the Jets on January 2nd, that he wanted to play for Tampa Bay. Drama replacing more drama, but the Bucs politely declined. OJ trap right, 1st and 10 at the 49, and Kelly is forced to call time. So they will have 2 timeouts for the remainder of the half. The Ravens still have 3. I'm going to go back to a passing play, and we're going to go short hitch to Baldwin, 1st and 10. And he has caught it for an 8-yard gain. Kelly is now 7 out of 13, 1 pick and 73 yards. 2nd and 2, we will pitch to OJ. And OJ, the juice loose, and that's a gain of 15. And I mean that within the context of a football game. 15-yard gain, and it's first and 10 at the 28. Of course, if you were around in 1994 or 1995, the O.J. Simpson trial was must-see viewing. That was back when there, and I'm not trying to be political here, just trying to state the point that the only cable news outlet back then was CNN, and CNN would run the trial proceedings when gavel to gavel when they happened. Sweep right by Simpson, first and 10. It was a big, big story. Loss of a
Holding
yard,
offense.
but
Number 77, 10-yard penalty.
they book Wolford for holding, and that's going to back the Bills up 10 yard, who have been struggling offensively. 13 to nothing is the score. Trap right, OJ, on first and 20. Baltimore should be playing a little more loose. That gave Simpson the opportunity to gain 7 yards. OJ is now up to 50 yards rushing, and he has 2 catches for 17 yards. Sweep right, OJ. Second and 13 at the 31. And OJ breaks free. Another 13 yards, and on 2 plays, OJ gets the 20 yards back. It's a first down. Ball just inside the 20. This drive, having gone 9 plays and 62 yards, has taken up 6 and almost a half minutes. OJ looking a little weary, but we're going to keep giving him the ball. Trap left. We got Thurman Thomas in reserve. Gain of 8, and OJ picking up another 8 yards. And there goes Thurman Thomas to substitute for Simpson, and we'll let it go to the 2-minute warning. Perhaps OJ will get a little more rest, but Thurman Thomas out of Oklahoma State, not a bad runner in his own right. We're going to go off tackle right with Thurman, and Thurman will gain 1 yard, and the clock running with 1:55 to go. Kelly will go no huddle, as he often did in his day. Pitch right. Bills with 2 timeouts left. And Thomas to the 10, to the 5, a fumble, and the Bills lose the ball. Gino Marchetti, hero on those great Colt teams of the late 50s and early 60s. He came up with it, broke his leg in the 1958 NFL Championship game. And now Baltimore with the ball, 1:31, and they have 3 timeouts left. And they have already used their challenge, thanks to the call against Terrell Owens. In the HTFL, all scores and all turnovers are looked at, but the teams themselves have 1 challenge available to them, not 2 for any NFL rules, but 1 challenge where they can look at anything else. First and 10, the ball at the 5. Baltimore sitting on a 13-0 lead. I imagine that they will just play it safe, but it's Flacco to Heap, and that's a gain of 15. Will Baltimore use a timeout? They will. They have 2 left. 1:21 now left in the half. 13-0 Baltimore. So on first and 10 from the 20 now. That's a nice throw to Barry. Barry with a big gain. 24 yards. He has already gone over 100, and we're not even at the half yet. 3 catches for 116 yards, 38.7 clip. And maybe Baltimore calls time. Here they do. So they have moved out to the 44-yard line in just 2 plays, picking up 39 very impressive yards. And it's first and 10. Let's see what Flacco can do. Flacco, of course, took the Ravens to the championship. I think it was Super Bowl 47 where they beat San Francisco. The year Colin Kaepernick had probably his finest hour. And it's second and 10 at the 44. The throw complete to Lewis, who gains 5 yards and gets out of bounds. 3rd and 5 now at the 49. That was the year, of course, of the power outage at the Superdome that delayed play in the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 5 at the 49. They have not been back to the Superdome since. Throw to the sidelines. Is that Raymond Berry again? No, that's Alexander, but nonetheless an impressive play, 51 yards. And the Ravens get another score before the half. Extra point try by Stover. Good. And it's 20 to nothing. 34 seconds left now till halftime. McGee, Burton, and Jackson. That's huge because Baltimore deferred to the second half, and they could get a twofer here if Buffalo cannot get a score before halftime. So Buffalo is really in the position where they have to press. They're going to go shotgun, put a man in motion, and we're going to look to Andre Reed on a short out. Actually, we're going to make it a medium slant to Reed because we do have 2 timeouts. And Kelly sacked. Gino Marchetti again, Johnny on the spot. And that's his second sack of the day. In fact, Buffalo is not going to call a play. That's the half. They're going to lick their wounds and hope for better things after the break. So your score, 20 to nothing, Baltimore. Surprised how this game has gotten out of hand very quickly. Week number 3 here in the HTFL. Recording this, it's about... Hey Siri, what time is it? I'll let you know.
It's 3:51 p.m.
3:51 here on the East Coast. We'll get this video up, hopefully for plenty of time, so you could watch this before the NFC Super Wildcard game tonight between the Rams and the Cardinals. But Baltimore, a very dominating performance. And let's get back to the screen and show you the stats. 250 yards. Flacco is 10 for 17 for 233. They're not missing Johnny U at all. They haven't had to depend on their running game. 6 carries, 17 yards. They got Lydell Mitchell in there right now. And Buffalo, 7 for 13, 73 yards. Kelly has thrown 1 pick. OJ has done a pretty fine effort, 19 for 73. He's gotten the bulk of the yards. They have Furman Thomas in there right now, but I'm sure Simpson will be coming back. Simpson is 13 for 71. So a couple of big plays have been the difference in this game. Flacco threw an 80-yarder to Raymond Berry on the game's first offensive play for Baltimore. And then just before halftime, Flacco threw another long one, 51 yards to Alexander, who also wears 82. We'll introduce you to the Baltimore kickoff team, Lewis, Hildenbrand, and Laird, as we put boot to leather. This is underway here, second half. Gain of 29. Lewis caught it at the 10, moved it up to the 39. Now remember, Baltimore still has a huge wind advantage as the winds continue to howl here at Rich Stadium. First and 10 at the 39. It's Flacco looking to the sideline to Raymond Berry, covered by White. And that is Tre'Davious White out of LSU. Second and 10, the ball at the 39. And let's see here. This is going to be a 2-yard gain for Lewis. Baltimore not having to depend on their running game all that much in this contest so far. Just a little bit into the third quarter. A 3rd and 8 at the 41. Flacco throwing. Complete to McCulley, Ed McCulley out of the backfield. A gain of 10. And Flacco staying red hot, 11 of 19, 243 and 2 touchdowns. Now a 1st and 10 at the 49 of Buffalo. The throw complete to Lewis, Jamal Lewis, for 7. So he has 8 touches for 27 yards in total, 2 catches for 12. 2nd and 3, ball at the 42. We'll see a lot of options here for Baltimore. They were looking for Berry, but White got a finger on it, an incomplete pass. 3rd and 3, ball at the 42 with 12:31 left in quarter number 3. And that is Lewis, but he is short. Stopped short of the first down And the Bills will get it back. Tally with a nice tackle. See what they do here. I did not call for a fake punt. Perhaps I should have. Watch for a fake punt. And Koch could not get any spin on the ball. He could not put it to the sideline. And it goes in for a touchback. And it's first and 10 for Buffalo, who now really have to throw the ball. They really can't depend on OJ. Cross to Terrell Owens on first and 10. And we'll see how Baltimore reacts to that. That's an incomplete pass. Bad throw by Kelly, broken up by McAllister. We'll go Simpson on a screen on second and 10. Remember, they're going into a very stiff wind. Stiffer than a mortuary. Simpson with a 10-yard gain for a first down. And it now moves out to the 30-yard line. We'll go Baldwin. Short hitch on first and 10. Incomplete, batted at the line by Big Daddy Lipscomb. We'll go back to a double wide set, pitch it to OJ, second and 10. Just try to cut the yardage they need for a first down. And OJ gets them close, 9 yards. He's been the only bright spot for the Bills in this contest. 14 carries for 80 yards. Short pass, play action to Owens on third and a yard. And Owens with a gain of 12. Keep him away from the popcorn vendors, please. First and 10 at the 49. We have 9:35 left to go. Sweep with OJ on first and 10. And OJ, another gain of 11. So he's closing in on 100. It's his season high, 91 yards on the day. Now remember, the season, this is only the third week of games. It's 18-week season, so you play everybody in your division twice. That's 14 of the games, and 4 games are out of the division. If we have ties, we look at head-to-head record, depending if everybody played each other the same number of times. Then we look at division record, if the tie is between divisional teams. And then we look at the net points, the points you score against the points you give up. And if that's tied, we go to just the points scored. And if that's tied, we go to Russian roulette. No, I'm kidding. We'll do a coin toss. But the odds of getting to that sixth step are pretty small. First and 10, the ball to 38. We're going to look for a slant to Terrell Owens. Keep him busy. Instead, Kelly was looking for Stevie Johnson. Incomplete. Sweep it to OJ. Baltimore in a 4-3. And OJ just back to the line, and that is it. So this drive has gone sour all of a sudden for Buffalo. 9th play of the drive coming up. Medium out to Eric Moulds on third and 10. And Moulds could not get a hand on that. And 4th and 10 at the 38. The odds of a field goal here very small. We're going to go for it. We're going to go for the first down yardage. And we are going to look to Andre Reed on 4th and 10 at the 38. Got to get something here going if you're Buffalo, and that's what I'm thinking. Furman Thomas with the catch, but he was well short of the first down. He only picked up 4. They needed 10, and that's a turnover on downs, giving the ball back to Baltimore already with a 20-0 lead. I guess I could have punted and tried to get Baltimore deep, but right now with no points, I wanted to get something going, and that's why I went for it. First and 10 at the 20. Cincinnati and Minnesota tomorrow on many of these HTFL stations. Gain of 6. Metzos makes the tackle for Buffalo. We'll highlight him. Archie Metzos out of Michigan State. Played on those old AFL Bills teams that won back-to-back AFL championships in the 60s, perhaps. 2nd and 4. The ball resting right at that 40-yard line. McCauley trapped for a huge loss, 4 yards. Washington on the tackle for Buffalo. A 3rd and 8 now. The ball at the 36. And it's Flacco. And he was looking for Heap but couldn't find him. An incomplete pass. So punting time for Baltimore. That's another good punt. 64 yards for Koch as Baltimore has that wind advantage for another 5 minutes and 25 seconds. That's how much time remains in the third quarter. Or as Charlie Jones used to say on NBC, that is the time remaining. First and 10, the ball at the 20. Pitch to OJ. Charlie did a few Buffalo Bills games, I'm sure. And Nagata forced him out of bounds. Had a good angle on OJ, no gain. And it's second and 10 at the 20. Want to read, Charlie Jones had a book that came out. It was That's Outside My Boat. You could get it on Kindle. I'm going to try to get that sometime soon. Terrell Owens. Love to read books. A gain of 3. Stevie Johnson on that reception. Keene on the tackle for Baltimore. We have 4:31 left to go. Also, another book I would recommend, hope the price comes down on a little bit, is You Are Looking Live, about the NFL today of the 70s up to 1994, I guess. Which was one of the first pregame shows that caught on. You are looking live. Of course, that's a Brent Musburger phrase. Brent's still going. He's doing the games for the Raiders. If you ever see highlights for a Raiders game, well, you won't for several months now because the Raiders were eliminated by the Bengals this Saturday. And you ever hear that phrase, "Jackpot, baby"? That's Brent. 4th and 7. Buffalo must punt, and here's Mormon going to kick it out stiff breeze. Probably for the last time in this game, unless we go
10-yard
overtime.
penalty.
And it's Hendricks called for holding. That backs Baltimore all the way back to the 25. They lead 20-0 with 3:38 left in quarter number 3. The give to Lewis. Lewis for 4 yards before Smith could bring him down. I believe that was Bruce, because there's no other Smith in the game right now for Buffalo. 3:31 left, the 2nd and 6. Flacco will run, and he fumbles, and Buffalo has new life as Sestak recovers the fumble for the Bills. One of the first games we had in the HTFL was Philadelphia and Buffalo. Buffalo making a miraculous comeback to beat Philadelphia, who fumbled on the next to last play. It gave Buffalo a chance to hit a field goal, and they won that game 37-34. It's up on my YouTube page. I did that game, I'd say more than 18 months ago now. I started season 1 in the spring of 2020. And that was over with in 2021. And then I started this on Labor Day week of 2021, but due to my hospitalization, this is going to go into the spring of 2022. Sorry about that, folks. But things in life happen. Pitch to OJ, 1st and 10 at the 34. Just got to play to their strengths right now till they have the wind advantage. And OJ goes over 100 yards. I was talking about You Are Looking Live. The NFL Today started up in 1975 in the format that they became famous for. And it was Brent Musburger, Phyllis George, who was a Miss America winner, Irv Cross, and I don't know if Jimmy the Greek Snyder was there the first year, but he was definitely there in subsequent years. Jimmy the Greek was all over the place once he made it on TV. And he had a very big newspaper column in the 70s before he made it to TV. Let's go back to OJ. Off tackle right. Another gain of 10 yards. It's a first down. And I think this is, I'm probably wrong about this being the deepest penetration of the game for Buffalo. Because I think they did commit a turnover at one point in the game. Trap right, OJ. 1st and 10. Ball at the 14, but
False start. Offense. Number 85, 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
all right, that was Bass. Just when things go right for Buffalo, something comes along. We'll go pitch right, OJ. 1st and 15. And they're gaining a lot of yards with OJ. Gain of 12. And it's 2nd and 3. Now, when I was growing up, my parents would call me PJ because my father also had the same exact name as I did, Paul Joseph Blum Sr., Paul Joseph Blum Jr. And I kind of wonder if they called me PJ as a playoff of O.J. Simpson. The things you wonder about when you're 50. 2nd and 3, the ball at the 7. We're going to go Simpson and OJ. Trap right. Just keep going to Oj, and that's 6. He's up to 129 yards now. And we're not going to get a playoff before the end of the quarter. We'll change ends. We'll play the 4th quarter. Now, Buffalo has a wind advantage, but they are close to a touchdown. Ball at the 1. Full house. And we're going to give it to the least likely guy, which would be Kablitsky. 1st and goal at the 1. 4 cracks at it. Kablitsky just short of the goal line. The Buffalo fans thinking he had broken the plane, but he did not. 2nd and goal at the 1. We're just going to sneak it with Kelly. And that also just short of the goal line. 3rd and goal. Well, this is getting ridiculous. Let's go OJ on a dive. And OJ is in. Touchdown, we think. Yes, it's going to stand. The Heisman Trophy winner from USC finally gets Buffalo on the board at 20-6. We'll kick the single extra point. It's up. It's good by Ryan Lindell, and it is 20-7. Still a long time to go in this game. 13-26. Don't put it away yet. It's like San Francisco and Dallas yesterday. It was 23-7, and I think a lot of people turned the TV off. But Dallas crept in 23-17, and we won't talk about that ridiculous play at the end where Dak Prescott ran a quarterback draw thinking they'd have enough time to spike the ball, and they did not. Lewis, Hildenbrand, and Laird back deep for Baltimore. I think a score could put the game away for them. Lewis, 2 yards deep, returns it to the 21, so call that a 23-yard return. 1st and 10, 13-16 now left in regulation time. Ball 21. It's Lewis, Jamal Lewis picking up 8 yards. So Buffalo needs to make something happen here. 2nd and 2 at the 29. Just can't let Baltimore do what they want. And that is a gain of 3 for Lewis. Lewis is now up to 11 carries for 37 yards. 1st and 10 at the 32. Flacco throws it to Heap. Another gain of 7 on 1st down. They're picking up big numbers on 1st down. And that's going to be a huge problem for Buffalo if they can't stop that. 2nd and 3. They're getting the down and distances off to a right foot. Lewis gets the 1st down. Another pickup of 6. Buffalo, by the way, now up to 217 yards, 132 of them on the ground. Baltimore, 305 with 257 on the ground. 257 through the air, I'm sorry. Raymond Berry, a huge part of that. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes MVP honors. 1st and 10 at the 45. McCulley, a marker down.
Offsides. Defense.
But it's
Number
against
70,
Buffalo.
5-yard penalty.
Sestak, a 5-yard penalty against him. He who got the turnover earlier that set up the Bills score. So it's 1st and 5 at midfield. Good things happening on 1st down for Baltimore, and they pick up 2 yards here. McCulley tackled by Cornelius Bennett. 2nd and 3, the ball at the 48. As time continues to move, gain of 2. McCulley again. Smith on the tackle for the Bills. 3rd and 1. Be a huge stop here for Buffalo if they can get it. And they don't get it. Lewis, 40, 30, all the way down to the 22. A pickup of 24 yards. Clutch drive here for Baltimore in the fourth quarter. First and 10, 8:32 left to go at regulation time, which is looking like will be the end of the game. And that's a throw from from Flacco to Todd Heap. And no, I'm not going to challenge the spot of the ball. I only have a 14% of a chance of an overturn. They need the defense to make a play. First and 10 at the 12. Like I said, I think a score will win it here for Baltimore and then of any kind. They're doing all this without Ray Lewis, who was ejected in the first quarter after a fist fight with one of the Buffalo offensive linemen, who, when the yellow hanky was thrown by the officials, were applauding. Hey, ready to go, Ray? You get to sit in the showers the rest of the game. Well, not the rest of the game. Imagine you get waterlogged after a few hours in the showers. Second and 10 at the 12. Flacco throwing. Incomplete, looking for Heap. Third and 10 at the 12. Even if they kick a field goal, it's going to be a big mountain for Buffalo to climb. The throw incomplete. That was Schobel who tipped it. We didn't see who Flacco was throwing to. So a field goal attempt for Stover. Now he's kicking into the wind, which is very brisk on this 62-degree day, and he missed it. No good. No good. With 5:56 left, Buffalo with a chance. Now they'll have the winds at their backs. Medium fly to Terrell Owens. Kelly has found him. And look at Owens go. Past the 40, past the 30, past the 20, down to the 16. How often we see this in the HTFL, where one team looks doomed, and then all of a sudden they come back like gangbusters. Well, no huddle. We'll go to Baldwin on a medium slant. Can they score in 2 plays? Yes, they can. Touchdown, Buffalo. And the crowd at Ralph Wilson Stadium, which was called Rich Stadium back then, is up and jumping all around. They are enthused. Extra point try here by Lindell is good. And all of a sudden, we have a 6-point game with 5:07 left to go. 2 plays was all it took for Buffalo to score there. 80 yards and 49 seconds. So now, all of a sudden, they're in great shape, but they got to get the ball back again. Here's your kickoff. You know the cast of characters by now. So Flacco, who has been pretty much held in check in the second half, has got to get it going here. You could sense the momentum turning in this game. First and 10 at the 20. Crowd's got to be into it. And a throw to Berry, an 8-yard gain. 124 yards has he on 4 catches. So again, Baltimore getting something good on first down. And it's 2nd and 2 at the 28. And here is the give to Lewis. And Lewis, 5 yards and a first down. 4:11. Time becoming an enemy of the Bills. And I'm sure they don't want this comeback to be in vain. Just like the 2021 Dallas Cowboys of yesterday. 1st and 10 at the 33. So I record this, the game was yesterday. A fumble. Vogel came away from it. That is Bob Vogel of Ohio State fame. A gain of 3. And it's 2nd and 7 at the 36. Got some great athletes who play very hard in this league. McCulley gaining 5, White on the tackle. Buffalo not calling timeout at this time. 3rd and 2, will they go to the warning? They do. A 2-minute warning. They'll use that 2-minute timeout as an extra timeout, and then the Bills will start using their times. 3rd and 2 at the 41. This is a huge play in the game. We are going to go 4-3, and I'm going to make the play call here. We're going to key on Lewis to get the ball, but he gets the first down anyway. A gain of 3, and Buffalo will call timeout. Now, they're not out of the woods yet. Baltimore is, because Buffalo could use 2 timeouts if they stop them in the next 3 downs, and they'd have to let the clock roll on whatever the 3rd play is, and then Buffalo would get the ball, and they would need a miracle. But I think it's a miracle they got this close. First and 10 at the 44. Baltimore's been getting huge plays on first down. Let's see if this happens again. McCulley, 2 yards, and a time being called by Buffalo. They're down to their last. Second and 8. The AI will sometimes call passes here, so you never know. Second and 8 at the 46. The give to McCulley. McCulley gaining 2. Buffalo uses their last timeout. We have a minute 40 to go. They're very quick on the trigger on the timeouts. Third and 6 now. Will Baltimore be stupid enough to throw the ball here in this situation? And the answer is no. They go to Lewis. Lewis picking up 4. It's 4th and 2 at the 48. We'll watch for a fake punt because if they gain any yardage on a fake punt, it would seal the deal for Baltimore. The punt was only 30 yards. So Buffalo with it, a minute 2 to go. They have no timeouts remaining. And the ball at the 18, so they're going to have to use the sidelines exclusively. In fact, they're going to go 4 wide and put Kelly in the gun. Medium out to Johnson on first and 10 at the 18. It's caught, and Johnson wiggles his way for an 11-yard gain. He got out of bounds. There's 50 seconds left. Short out. Owens, first and 10. And Owens catches it. Get out of bounds, Terrell. 6-yard gain. He did indeed get out of bounds. Ball at the 35. We have 49 seconds to go. Medium out to Molds on second and 4. Buffalo with a huge wind advantage. Kelly with a 4-yard gain. A first down. But it's going to chew up some valuable time. 38 seconds to go. We're going to go medium out to Molds on first and 10. We'll see how much time they have left. It's a screen to Thomas, who gains 5. He gets out of bounds. There are 18 seconds left to go. And right now, it's very critical that Buffalo get out of bounds on these next few plays. Molds. Medium out on second and 5 from the 44. And then Kelly's going to have to chuck one up. Molds catches it, but he's in bounds. And that'll probably be the end of the game with 8 seconds to go. No, he got out of bounds. The animation was incorrect. He got out of bounds. 8 seconds left. Trips right. And the only thing Kelly can do is go deep. We've never had a game end on a Hail Mary before. So maybe this will be the case. They'll look to Owens. Baltimore playing deep and loose. They had a 20-0 lead going into the fourth quarter. Oh, it'd be something if they wind up losing this game. And there it goes. And it's incomplete. And Buffalo could not pull it off. 20-14 is your final. The Ravens win and will advance to 2-1 on the season, and Buffalo will fall to 1-2. Flacco took MVP honors, although I would have given it to Ray Berry. 2 TD throws. And you see the scoring summary there. And let's see. Team stats. I always looked like team stats. It was an even contest. Neither team that efficient in the red zone. Baltimore only had 1 field goal in 2 efforts, and Buffalo took 3 trips to the red zone and got both of their touchdowns. Buffalo had the time advantage, 33-14. There were 8 penalties in the game. Buffalo ran 60 plays to Baltimore's 53. The better thrower was Joe Flacco, 15-27 for 275, 2 touchdowns, no picks, no sacks. Leading rusher was O.J. Simpson, 22 carries, 129. Leading pass catcher was Heap for Baltimore with 5, but Ray Berry had the yardage honors, 4 catches for $124. And we'll go down and look at the tackle numbers. Nagata for Baltimore had 9 tackles to lead everybody. So your final was again 20-14 in favor of the Baltimore Ravens, who now move to 2-1 In the Eastern Division chase, Washington is a half game behind. Philadelphia and New England are both 1-1, as is New York, and then Buffalo 1-2, Pittsburgh 0-2, Carolina 0-2. And our next game will be tomorrow, Lord willing, and if the creek does not rise, Minnesota and Cincinnati. So I hope you enjoyed the game today, which I am recording before the Rams Cardinals playoff game. Had a very busy Martin Luther King Day. Put up some stuff earlier using a brand new video editor, the Cyberlink Power Director 20/365. I paid for a subscription for a year for that. And this has been Big Polly coming to you, wishing you well. Godspeed, God bless. We'll do it all again soon, and bye bye for now, everybody.